It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And no, it's not a pool day. You're probably wondering what I'm doing with this filthy, disgusting towel. Well, searching the garden this morning for inspiration for today's video. And with the pending move and all, it's just a little tougher. Because I'm thinking forward. I'm thinking about how I'm going to leave the garden when I go, what I'm taking, what I'm leaving. I don't want to, do things and undo things. So, anywho, I came up with a really great inspiration. Now, many of you know the saga of this Pringley cactus. It was a threesome. There was a trio of them in this pot. And they were fine. They sat here for a couple of years. Then I took one of the three and I planted it in a pot at Joe Jean's. We just did a maintenance there a couple of days ago, and you probably noticed that his is now about this tall. Then it was two. Well, then I took the second one and used it somewhere. I don't even remember now where, but it wasn't that. It was somewhat recently. I used the other and left just the one. And this is a nothing burger, isn't it? It's not that interesting. I'm bored. I can do better. So at the Pacific Beach job, our client, who is an avid collector, as you all know, she moved 4 years ago when we did the initial installation. She had just recently moved homes. She moved from La Jolla to Pacific Beach, and she brought everything with her, along with this really cool aloe in a pot. And I had staged it in the garden proper. Well, when we came this last week, or a couple weeks ago, to do maintenance, she surprisingly didn't want the plant. And I think it's really interesting. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm hoping that maybe one of you geniuses can ID it for me, or perhaps we'll have to wait until it blooms. But anywho, I like it, and I'm going to put it in this orange pot, and I'm going to put the Pringley in the Foster garden. So wow, talk about long story long. This is to help me transport this cactus. So first, I am going to tip the pot like so. And I knew that this plant, oh my gosh, that's so much fantastic fire glass in here. Ugh, I can't wait. We have to pick it out, guys. We have to do it. I can't waste it. Well, I'm not going to waste it, but still, you know what I mean. Look at these giant, gorgeous hunks of fire glass. There's so much of it in here. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. I'm going to put this in this euphorbia pot back here. Well, that just made my day. I knew this was going to be loose because I had taken, the other two plants out. So to move the cactus, it's just no big deal. You just have to remember not to touch the spines, duh, obvi. So I'm going to handle it mostly by the roots, but I can wrap the towel around it as well, kind of as a sling. Grab it by the roots, and then see, just like that. So easy peasy. All right, let's find a new home for this guy. Okay, now this, as you recall, is the new foster garden area where I put plants, to keep and care for until they get too big, and then I work them into projects. So with the move, you may be asking yourself, well, what's going to happen to the foster plants? And we're not moving for another 6 weeks. So I've got projects. They'll probably get homes. And, I do want to leave some things here too for the new owners, assuming, of course, that they're going to want the garden, which is still remains to be seen. So that's the bottom line is I don't know, but that's okay. You know, I'm just trying to take it a day at a time. All will be revealed. Okay, I want to dig a hole deep enough that this plant, I guess I should put my gloves on. This plant is not going to tip over. It's a little top heavy. And I'm sure that this Pringley would grow a heck of a lot faster in the ground. And it's one that I will probably take with me to Vista when we move, because I'm going to be doing a garden there in the backyard. So this will probably just be as a temporary place for it. Okay. All right, Pringley. Now, I could distress these roots, but what's the point? I mean, they're not that significant. There's no need of it. I'll just take my pretty beach towel, stick this thing in the hole. Now, I got a little too ambitious with my digging, so I'm going to backfill just a little bit. You know, it's interesting over the years to see how this soil has morphed into something really amazing, because it's just been layer after layer after layer. This has been through so many iterations. Remember one of my first videos was over here when I did the tapestry? Gosh, that was years ago. Yeah, it's just been through a lot, and I've thrown down a lot of soil, a lot of rock, and now we've got just this really great hummusy, rocky, well-draining soil. And all the plants that I put here have been super happy. Okay, now I'm just going to tamp this down. So I don't, like I said, don't really want it to fall over. And, you know, in a designer garden, I wouldn't be planting this Pringley right next to my totem cactus. It's a bit... Oh, I don't hate that. I was going to say it's a bit repetitious, but they are so different that it's really not repetitious at all. So there we have it. The Pringley. Don't get too comfortable, fellow, because you're probably going to get moved in about 6 weeks, but just consider this a vacation. Have a margarita. Okay. All right. Now, let's go get that pot that I took him out of. And I will try not to get too distracted with the fire glass. Okay, maybe just a little distracted, just very briefly distracted. This fire glass is not going anywhere. A few years down the road, you know, when I decide to put something else in this pot, I will find it again, and it will be a very happy, exciting day. Okay, yeah, that made me feel better. All right, so we're going to take this pot. Let's plant up that aloe. Okay. Look at this thing, you guys. How's that for root bound? Can you even with that? Let's see where it sits. Okay, I'm gonna need to dig it out just a little more. Definitely not gonna need any more soil. Dig this out a little more. It's like a dirt clod. Put that over the prison wall. Did you guys all look at the picture I posted on the community page of what's on the other side of the wall? If you didn't, run, don't walk. I will, spoiler alert, it's pretty grim. Hey Greg, if you point the camera over to the prison wall. Can you guys see that those cottonwood suckers? When we first moved into this house, there was a cottonwood tree planted literally against the wall on the other side. And all I did was pick up those leaves. That's all I did. And one day, lo and behold, I heard this noise, like a chainsaw. And there was a guy standing on my wall. And it was the most beautiful welcome sight I had ever seen because he was cutting down that tree. I scared him to death. I whooped and I hollered, and I mean, I like fell to my knees and did the whole, you know, I'm not worthy thing. And the poor guy's like, this lady is insane. But I was so happy that that tree was gone. And for a couple of years, it was bliss until I realized they didn't grind the stump. So now instead of one cottonwood, I've got 500 cottonwoods over there. So in the warmer months, every month I have to go over there with my loppers and cut down all the suckers. There's some Brazilian pepper tree coming up over there too. So I'm not going to miss that. Let me tell you. Okay. Let's see. How's that? Much better. That's perfect. So what do you think, guys? What is this aloe? Like I said, I don't know, you know, that we can really ID it for sure until it flowers. But if anybody knows, I would be very interested in your opinions. It's so healthy too, despite the neglect that it has clearly suffered. It's beautiful, I think. I guess beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. And it does need, you know, cleaned up a bit, but what a cool plant. And I'm wondering too, now that I've planted it in clearly a bigger pot than what it was in before, and I'm going to backfill it here with nice, loamy, sandy, I should say, soil. Oh, glory. It'll be so interesting to see what it does. I don't know. I don't know if it's because it was pot bound. But I just feel like it's not gonna get that big, right? That it's gonna stay pot sized. Oh, this is so great. And I really like the orange pot too. That's working for me. Oh, local folks. It is July, today's what, July 2nd? Yeah, July 2nd, 2022. And I got some pictures today from Robert at Planter's Paradise in El Cajon. And he wrote, Daddy went shopping and spent lots of money. Oh my gosh. He's got some really amazing stuff right now. So if you are in the area, remember he is closed on Sundays and Mondays. Or is it Mondays? No, Mondays and Tuesdays. He's closed Mondays and Tuesdays. Get down there and get your shop on because he's got some really, really, really cool collectible plants. I'm going to be there most likely the end of the week next week shopping for a client. I'm just waiting for her to get back to me and let me know what my budget is for special things. Because I could spend thousands of dollars in 15 minutes. No problem. Couldn't we all, right? Okay. So cool. You know, and look at what this plant did. So it was languishing in a pot that was really small. It was totally root bound. So look, it threw off these air roots. Just trying to live, trying to survive, trying to adapt. I think that's what I love the most about these amazing plants is their incredible intelligence and adaptability. They will figure it out, won't they? Okay. All right. Now, this soil that I'm using, in case you're wondering, is Oh, I got this at Planter Paradise. This is the natural and organic potting soil. You know, basically pretty generic, but remember, here in the land of milk and honey in sunny Southern California, we don't really need to worry about the soil as long as it drains. Any kind will do. And remember too, tamp your soil down really well. Go overboard. Be extra with this part, because if you don't, in 6 months' time, this plant's going to be down here. And you're going to have to pull the whole mess out, add more soil, and reset. So don't be cheap. Take your time adding your soil. Leave about an inch and a half for top dressing, and also, you know, for when you water, so that everything doesn't come spilling over the edges of the pot. And make sure, especially if you're new to the succulents, that your pots have drainage. Those of us that have been around for a while can get away with a pot without drainage, because we know, we've just learned through experience how to water, when to water, when not to water. But just to be on the safe side, make sure you have drainage. Okay, so I was rummaging around out in the garage looking for top dressing, and I found these glorious black polished pebbles. I'm loving this. So what we have going on here is really monochromatic, in the sense that the pot is completely monochromatic. The plant has got, you know, some stressed out kind of orangish bottom leaves, but for the most part, you know, it's not variegated. It's pretty monochromatic too. And then these really, really aggressively shiny black pebbles, I think is a winner. You know, you want to sometimes, well, not sometimes, when you're potting things, you want to keep the integrity of the pot throughout your entire design for maximum impact. Meaning, if you have a pot with a lot of squiggles or wiggles or repeating patterns, you want to try to mimic that in the plant choice. That's not, you know, a hard, fast rule. I don't want anybody writing that down like in ink or anything, but it's a general rule of thumb. So this is an impactful, sophisticated arrangement because of the simplicity of it and the repetition of texture and monochromatic coloring. So this plant, I'm going to fuss with it a little longer, even after we're done. Just, you know, really working on getting in there and cleaning it up, because I really have high hopes for this plant. I think it's going to be an absolute stunner with just a little TLC. And don't be cheap with your top dressing either. Layer it on thick. You cannot use too much. Alrighty then. I am going to consider where I'm going to put this. I might put it back where the Pringley eye was. I might choose another spot. You're going to have to tune in to Walkabout Wednesday to find out where its new home is going to be. Maybe I'll put it on the front porch. I don't know. But in the meantime, you all have a fantastic, wonderful Saturday, a tremendous 4th of July. If I don't see you before then, which actually I will see you tomorrow. Have a good, safe weekend. Get out there and plant something. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. Love you guys.